Hi, this is Gil. Welcome to Burkland Gardens. So the nursery's pretty full. We had a good week here at the nursery. We had a garden club come on Monday. Monday was a rainy, cold day, and the garden club from Whidbey Island, which is, if you're not familiar with Pacific Northwest Seattle area, is a very large island out in Puget Sound. And this garden club had scheduled a couple months ago, and so the weather they didn't get a chance to pick the weather, but they came around 10:30 in the morning and spent a couple hours here. Uh, braved the weather, and garden clubs. I've had them here at different times before, and they're always great to have, and they're interested in all kinds of plants. And this group was particularly interested in conifers, which was great. Was great news for me. But usually they shop around a little bit, and I hear their stories and we have conversations. But this group, they got the carts out and they loaded them up with plants, and it was a very good sales day for me. And then and at the same time, within the time that these folks were here, someone else showed up from down south here, and he'd been doing some front yard landscaping. Talked to him a year ago, and he did this. He had the same um, ideas. He loaded up carts full of plants to cart off. So it's kind of funny. We're on a nice sunny day here. We're open today, and there aren't any customers here, but that's just you know the way it goes at a small nursery. We're not the large garden center, so I get people come, whenever they're able to or want to. But almost everyone that comes to Burkland Gardens is a buyer of plants. We like to think we have, you know, really unusual, interesting plants. So I'm standing in front of one of our tables that has pines on it, different types of pinus, and we'll talk about a couple different things. So the pines, and in particular, are putting out new growth, and the needles haven't quite come down yet, meaning they haven't emerged from the candle. And this candle can be shortened to a point, and we're just gonna. I've done this before, but this will just snap right off in your fingers like that, and it'll make the plant more compact, and also it can also tend to shorten the needles a little bit. They have if you're interested in having your plant stay smaller. Now these are all slow growing, what we call dwarf conifers, but sometimes you want it to stay more compact and fill out. So you can just go through, and you're just looking to break off the ones and make them a little more even. Um, and this is a more flat growing or globose type tree. And so it's not going to grow upright, but we just want to keep it nice and dense. I also, at the same time, and even throughout the year, I'm looking to see if there's any needles, any congestion on the inside, any brown needles. Just clean those out. Um, there's some needling that can be done as they're growing throughout the year. You don't want to do it too late in the year and get a lot of when the sap's flowing, but cleaning out old needles and maybe some of the newer ones, especially on the underside of the branch. It'll help to show off your plant. And I'm going to lift this a little bit and just kind of get down there, and just, you want it when you pull your needles, pull in the same direction that they're growing, not against it, so you don't rip. That's particularly true of fir trees. You can just really just rip the bark up. So just pulling those off and cleaning it up and cleaning out the trees. So you can do some pruning this time of year. I do as well if it needs it. But we'll just move on to, here's another. This is a dwarf mugo pine, and then here's another one. It's a Pinus mugus. It's similar to the mugo. This one's called dwarf blue. You can see this candle, and it wants to grow flat. So I'm gonna just go ahead and break that off. I did. It's got a nice little shape to it. It's got a nice trunk on it, doesn't it, Max? And the roots exposed. So maybe it's not a bonsai candidate, but maybe it's a good garden candidate. So the color are really outstanding. Silvery blue color on it. I think that's probably all I need to do on this one here. And the needles are pretty well cleaned out on it. Here's a tree, another pine, Bosnian pine, Pinus eldrickii or leucodermis, because they changed the name on it. So this one has a lot of old needles to clean out. You can leave these, and this is a very compacta um, type of Bosnian pine, so it'll cover up most of this. But I like to have nice airflow on the inside of the tree, and so Max behind the camera, he's going to take this one home and work on it a little bit and see if he can turn it into into a bonsai. But it has a nice little trunk on it. We were just looking at it, so he'll finish working on that. You'll find leaves. We've got old needles there. Those will just pull right out and clean that out. Brushing out trees and pulling out old needles, that's one of my favorite things to do. And it's not that hard. It's almost meditative. I know. And so we've got a number of other pines on the table. Got a Scotch pine called Cupcake. Um, One of my more popular eastern white pines with the curly needles, mini twist. Um, and there's several different twisted ones. This one will grow shrub-like. Um, Another Scotch pine called John Boy, and another one called Pixie right here. So nice bluish color on that one right there. So, and this Scotch pine is called Gold Coin. I've talked about that before, but still has nice gold color, really bright this year. So the new growth will come out green. Everything will turn, even this old needles will turn back green again. So I don't know. Think it has any merit as a bonsai? Max thinks so. So here's my attempt at wiring. Max will have to take a more refined look at it, but it has a nice look. It has a windswept look. You know, I've done a little bit of pruning, put a little bit of wire. My techniques are not the best. What is it?
You like wiring
Okay, so I guess I'm not supposed to wire the needles. So pluck the needles. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
Well, they get the wire through, but not all of
them. Okay, just be more careful.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, when you wire those needles,
like bunching them up. Yeah. Okay. Okay, we'll take care of that later. Okay. All right, let's move on to the nursery. We'll cut here and we'll pick up at another part of the nursery and talk about a couple other things I got going on here. So I'm standing next to a group of plants. So these are not the plants I would take you to initially. If you came to the nursery, I would send you out in the main part of the nursery. But these are not quite up to, a standard that I would charge a full price on. So we've got a discount area here, and started doing this a month or so ago, and it is popular with some of the folks that come here, and they're interested in, especially buying quite a few plants, either for just putting out in a forest setting or just having some affordable plants and something to work with. So there's just a variety of things. There's certainly my conifers. I've got a few shade trees in there, like the golden rain tree, and there's a katsura back there. There's a few boxwoods, dwarf boxwoods, and they might go for anywhere from a couple dollars, a dollar or two, up to $15 or $20, but heavily discounted, and just a great deal, and it people seem to enjoy it. There's some pretty cool plants, even like this fir here, which is in my area, but it's not filled out. It struggled a little bit, so that's a Glauca prostrata, which is a noble fir that's going to grow flat on the ground. But certainly I wouldn't sell anything that I thought was dying or dead. But if it's not quite up to snuff, if it's dying, I pull it out, and it goes out on the pile of the compost pile. So it's just another little way of helping people that need would like a discount on their trees, and it helps me sell some things aren't that I can't put out in the main part of the nursery. So another thing, the hosta, I'm going to point out the hostas here too. So they're just emerging now, and I haven't, you know, I'd like to compost a lot of these leaves in place. So we've got a heuchera here that's coming through, but hostas are pushing through. These are some of the big leaf ones and variegated ones, and I thought I might want to sell hostas a few years ago, but just really not what I don't get enough customers here, like a garden center, to have it. But I enjoy them, and this will be all these leaves will fill up this whole area soon, and we get a nice dappled shade coming in here. It's perfect for these hostas, and there's several dozen of them in this area right here. Got an oak leaf hydrangea, a lilac, um, another little plant that I like for shade gardening is Solomon seal. They're just coming into bloom right now, and sometimes I'll divide these up and they'll be for sale. People really do like them, and they'll last into the year. So I've got clumps throughout this bed right here that we have. So off track a little bit on not doing so much on the conifers, but I actually love all plants, and this is a nice one for that shade garden, and gives you some flowers and nice foliage, upright foliage. So let's move on to our next area. Max found a Katsura tree here in my discount area. So I said, looks pretty cool. Got a nice little trunk on it. Is that branch something you think you'd leave for bonsai?
Double trunk.
Huh?
Yeah,
Would you?
leave it.
Possibly. Just got Katsura is a really nice shade tree. No significant flower, and then I've mentioned this before. They really smell good in the summer and in the fall. Very sweet smell, and it'll fill the air all around your yard. So I just thought, well, I brought my I have bonsai tools, even though I don't do bonsai, but I'm always looking for trunks because I never know what people might be interested in, and Max is pretty good at bonsai. So be interesting to see if we find any, you know, little root going on there. I do this with trees for people do come here looking for this kind of thing, so we can kind of pull that down. Hmm.
It's good flare.
Do they have? Yeah, interesting. We can see. I don't have. All I got is a whisk broom here, but get some of that dirt off of there. Just keep working it down. We're not hurting the tree. This is all fibrous roots here near the top, and we're not taking off enough soil and root material to really hurt this tree. So I do this all the time. So I'll take like those little tiny roots off like that, and then just kind of clean it up like that. But I think just leave them, huh?
Yeah.
Here's one though. I want to take that whole thing off.
Because eventually you want to put in a bonsai pot.
Okay, so this is all good stuff, right?
Yeah, you want the roots to be.
Oh, here we're
here.
seeing that one of the main roots coming nice and down. I don't like it when they go curly-cue around and girdle the tree.
Might be too late to take it though.
Yeah, so for now this is probably good enough, and put it in a training pot or just a regular nursery pot and grow it on and let it flush out again.
Work the roots out.
Yeah, but it's kept low and has a nice thick trunk. We've got some. Well, we'll show some here in a minute. Let's go over and check out some Katsuras that have a little bigger trunks, and I'll go over to my neighbors and we'll look at his Katsuras that are like this. They have some really nice trunks on them. Seedling that was collected by a friend of mine, and it's a black pine, probably an Austrian pine, but I'm not sure. Could be Japanese black, but anyway, got a nice little bit of movement going on, as they say. So Max is interested in this one as well. So now we're going to move on to my neighbors. We're going to show some thicker Katsura trunks and have a few other of those. Maybe some paper bark maples too. Okay. Sit down. Shake hands. Good girl. Are you a good girl? Yes, you are. Ah. I'll get you a biscuit in a minute, okay? Kelly hangs out with me every day.